Hello YouTubers. Today I have a iPhone 7 Plus here. This one I got in trade for doing some computer work for somebody, one of my friends. They upgraded to the X Max or something like that. Issue with this phone is the cameras don't work, and before I took it apart it said no audio device detected under audio. And I noticed the phone didn't take long for the phone to boot up at all, so if we power it up, you can see it boots up pretty fast. But before I actually took it apart, I had, tested the phone. See, it just kind of like boot loop there. Just to see if the audio was working, just for the heck of it. But yeah, if we go to the camera here, it's all blackened out. The front too. If we go to audio, voice memo, test 1 2 3. Audio is working, but audio did not work before I took it completely apart. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing the audio IC on this one. I'm going to throw it in another test frame just to test to see, make sure it's not the camera module or something. So what I'm going to do is just take it apart. I already got it disassembled. Come over here to the side camera. So I'm going to disconnect the battery, disconnect the screen. So I'm kind of wondering if there is something wrong with the camera, but I don't believe so. I think it has to do something with the audio IC. I haven't seen where the cameras don't work on them, but it's possible. Looks like the cameras are intact, no corrosion. Look pretty clean. So this is going to be something new where I see the camera is not working because of the audio, but you see in the phone did have the audio. So I'm kind of wondering if it has something to do with the audio IC. I'm pretty sure it does. I've never came across it before. If somebody else has, leave a comment below. Let's see if I get these off here. Alright, we gotta take the SIM card tray out. Push our little knob thing back here. Should be loose to come out. You can see this board hasn't had any work done to it. I remember at one point I replaced the screen for the person and they had damaged the screen by dropping it. So we could look and we could see that this phone has some bending to it, believe it or not. You can see it broke the frame, the top shield is broken free. So we've had some bent on this actual board. Looking for any signs of water damage or anything. So that's kind of concerning that that actually, you know, desoldered from the frame there, kind of bent upwards. Throw it in a different test housing. There's a good housing with good cameras and a good front-facing camera. I don't know, the phone restarted for some reason. Alright, so same thing with the camera. There's no camera, but the front, nothing on the front. So we know it's not the camera, so it either must be something broken with the camera line, but I believe it's the audio IC. So we're just gonna roll with that. Oh, I don't have the front camera in, but the back camera didn't work. So it's kind of warm, but booting up. So what we're gonna do is take this board out, put it on the preheater. See, I really don't care what I do to this phone because it's not a customer's phone, so that's the fun thing. What I'm going to do is heat this up a little bit, remove the sticker. Look how dirty that audio IC is in there. Right on top of there. That's pretty strange. You guys can see that. Okay. Wonder why they would be so dirty like that. There, we make it nice and clean, but that's pretty strange. Alright, so what I'm going to do is tape off the back side. That way I don't take off the QR code here. I don't know why they didn't do that like on a metal frame or something, like engrave it. My table being uneven. Let's see, get that on there good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up, I'm going to take this little cap off right here in the center. One of these three. Make sure my preheater is set. Alright, lowest temperature. Alright, spit out some of this flux here first. Didn't want to use that much. This stuff's a pain in the butt to clean up now for some odd reason. Okay, now I'm going to grab some shields. Takes a lot of heat to remove these components here, so crank up the temperature. Turn this down so I'm not blowing things around. See how steady I am. Ooh, that's hot. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not steady today. Ooh, man, it's hot. Alright, we got that cap off. Set it to the side. I don't know just how it's like feeding the air back right to my thumb, like burning my thumb, which kind of sucks. Now we could grab it from this side. Let's see, I gotta get this level here. Add some flux for this audio. And the bottom heater helps just a lot with this audio IC because these iPhone 7 ports take a lot. So I'm going to come in with the big tweezers very carefully. Go. I'm going to use smaller ones. Alright, it's taking a little too much heat. Just turn it up a little bit. They're stubborn, they don't want to come off sometimes. Ooh. Total fail. Oh, we got it off. We just bumped that other one over there. Unfortunately. And those other two guys. Normally I do that, so nothing new. Alright, so I turned that bottom heater off. I had that up to a lot of temperature, you know, to take that off. It just takes a lot of heat. Changing tips. We didn't lift any pads or anything, or And that just probably, that chip's fine. We just splattered a little bit from underneath the audio IC by pushing down on it. Alright, so I'm just going to knock those components back into place there, so I don't have to worry about it later. Grab one of these Harbor Freight picks that I picked up. They're pretty awesome. Let's see, this one's with the bend here. Pretty sharp picks, too. I don't know what they call them, dental picks. I have a video on them. Pretty nice. I didn't even have to sharpen these picks. They're nice. That's how good they are. I'm gonna have this different one. This one's angled. I like my angled better. You know, I need to get that resistor in its place. Grab more flux. For some reason you gotta use a lot of this now. Ooh, that heat's kicking back. Alright, that's back into place. It's more flux for this thing don't fly away. Go back into your place. Ugh. Can't get an angle at this for some reason. There we go. Ugh. Oh my god, this guy doesn't want to go over. There we go. Alright, those are in place. Fortunately, we knocked one guy out of the corner too. There, he's back in place. You guys can't see that, but it was this corner one right here. Turn that off. Do some rapid cool technology. Hey, what's up, Kyle? Doing iPhone 7 Plus, no audio. When I took it apart, it started having audio, and then after taking it apart, it has audio, but it still has no camera, front or back camera. So basically, the audio IC chip, it took off. Knocked a couple components out of its place. And we got one little resistor capacitor stuck way out down there. I don't know if it's soldered to the frame. No, lucky it's not. Alright, it's a resistor. So we gotta put that resistor back into place there. Yeah, it doesn't help when you're when you're shaky for some reason. Some days are like that. So we gotta heat this thing back into place. I want it to get flipped over so you can see the black on it. It really don't matter which way you put it down, but it's just the principle. The thing doesn't want to flip over. There we go. Alright, that should be good. I'm going to throw some heat on it. Then I could throw that other capacitor that we took off to do the audio IC. Then we can run our jumper wires. What I'm thinking with this is maybe the audio not getting power, but it's weird with the two cameras not working like that. This flux sucks big time. Doesn't work like it used to. Alright, that's melted in place. We can do our big cap here. Hey Kyle, you going to automotive? Jeremy in town? If you're still here. Alright. Well, it's still hot. I got like two pads that just ain't it. There are one pad, two pads. They're like a little kind of flat. Kind of like to have them a little bit more puffier. Alright, I'm going to cool this down. Clean it up a little bit. I'm going to run our jumper wires. I'm gonna see if I could see any breaks in the traces. You guys won't be able to see it on camera. Hey, how's the video quality and sound? If anybody's here watching, curious. Laggy, or how does it look? I don't know if I have the stream settings right. Alright, so we're gonna run our jumper wire. Alright, I gotta change tip out. To a very small fine tip. I think the smallest one they have. And then I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to run the, I think it's 1.8 volt line that powers it. Dang, somebody's squeaking tires around the corner. Oh, that wind's kicking up outside. Probably gonna get some nasty storms. Alright, so here, let's run this jumper wire, which is a pain in the butt. Alright, that's pretty good. just get the right angle. Yeah, these picks are awesome. Try to flatten this down. That's kind of flat. It's in place. We can cut it. That would help if I had the knife the right way. There we go. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna scrape the top of that off. Just like that, kind of gets it flat. So we got it disposed. I think I'm just gonna do one by one. You gotta clean it for the UV curing mask. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this mask. Which I normally don't use that, so I'm going to grab the X-Acto knife. I just kind of want to get one side of it, so that's what's nice about the X-Acto knife. Alright, that's good. Let's cure it. Alright, that's cured. Alright, so I'm going to run another wire from this capacitor, this end of the capacitor, all the way over to the second line right there, which I believe is the 1.8 line. Then I'm going to run that jumper wire, run that one. We're going to go jumper wire city on this one. Which this wire is a little difficult because I'm going to have to route it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the two short ones first. You know, I'm not even going to do the two other ones. I'm going to do So I really never see these other two point them out. These never really break. This one really never breaks that much. So I'm just gonna run this wire all the way to this capacitor. And then we could test it after we reball the audio IC. So what I'm going to do is just scrape the end of this a little bit. This wire is so hard to shape. Alright. Yeah, you have to hold it a little closer. Oh, that was pretty good, but there, that's good. Yeah, hopefully I'm on the right rail. I'm not even looking it up in ZXW, so just gonna roll with it. I don't remember because I had one issue with one phone with the power line, but that was about it. See if I can get a bend going on here. Yeah, I like these picks a lot better than my big ones. That's for sure. The bigger ones I got from Harbor Freight a while ago too, but I had to file those down to size. Kind of want to do is just kind of UV cure that in place. I kind of want it clean. I'm going to cut the end of the wire. Don't know how I want to go about this, but I want to cut it first in place. I'm probably going to just cure it. Alright, so I'm going to put some more curing mask down. Just tack it in place. Dang it. I get some on that cap. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is hold that wire in place downwards and then cure it, which is fun. As long as you don't knock it out of place too bad. Oh my god. Alright, so we got that cured somewhat. Alright, we could cut this wire and then cure it resting in place. We should be good with that. A little bit of dent holding its place. There we go. It's kind of where I want it, so. I tell you, this UV curing stuff is a pain in the butt. Totally came free. I don't know what's going on with this UV light. Hey, what's up, Retrofix? How's it going? And Jacob. Yes, and the power jumper wire that I'm running. It was strange, before I took the phone apart, it was, the cameras wouldn't work, and when I tested audio, it said no audio device found. Then took it apart, then the audio's working, just taking the screws out of the house, or the frame. So that's pretty odd. I don't know, I've never seen the cameras not work because of the audio. And I tried it in different housing and it doesn't work. White Man Can't Jump. Yeah, that's a good movie. So I see I got Lewis is streaming. I thought he's supposed to be on vacation. And just trim this a little bit here. Where'd that little wire go? I just cut. That's not good. So I'm going to use a little bit more UV curing mask to get this wire fully in place. There we go. Then we're going to cure it. Yeah, Lewis needs a vacation. That guy's a workaholic. Green paste. Put more paste? Nah. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten that down a little bit more. See if I can get a nice angle of this. Alright, I'm just going to cure it some more, just make sure it's all cured. What's the warranty? This ain't a customer's phone. This phone I got in for like trade-in for doing some repairs for someone. They had bought an iPhone XR Plus or whatever, iPhone X Max, whatever you call those names. So I took it in, and she said the cameras didn't work on it, and I think it's an audio issue. We'll see if the cameras work after doing this. Alright, that's cured. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape the top of that off so we can get some nice shiny stuff for the solder to stick to. Oh, his texts are running the stream. That's cool. Blue Dixie cups. That means some drinks. That means they're gonna fix lots of MacBooks. Alright, what I'm going to do is just clean this. Wanted to, I could just hit those real quick with some solder. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but I'm going to do it. Alright, looks good enough for the girls I go with. It's good enough for me, so. Oh man, I can see probably that pad came free a little bit, but solder was just sticking up just a little bit. Oh no. Alright. That's good enough. Clean it. Now reball the audio IC and put it on, see if the phone works. Really, I was just going to use this phone as a parts phone, but I figured I want to see if that is because why the camera is not working. It has something to do with the audio IC. But to the phone, the frame, it looked like it's bent. I don't know. The phone seems to be bent a little bit. At the top. So Retrofix, have you fixed any game consoles lately, or what? Any old school ones? I got an Atari I gotta fix some point. Alright, that's good. Gonna set this to the side. We're gonna grab our what I use for the audio IC chips. I just use the CPU stencil. I've been using that for the longest time. This is the iPhone 6 stencil, the A8 CPU stencil. So I just basically gonna be using this because I don't know, I don't have the right stencil obviously to do the audio. Got a bootleg stencil or something. I really don't know, to tell you the truth. Gotta get my audio IC up. It was stuck to the mat. The paste. So I just been using the CPU stencil. And from when I was pulling this chip off, okay, we're gonna take a look at this audio chip. Man, I don't want to pull up ZSW tools because it might crash my computer or something, but I can see one little pad here that, like, it seems like nothing was connected to it. So it either got corroded. This is pretty strange. I do a lot of reballs on PlayStation 4s and game consoles and stuff. I know kind of what the balls look like when they're not touching. I can zoom in on this. You can see, like, there's no shine to it. It's not even, doesn't even look like any solder was connected to it. Let's see, was there one more too? It was just that one. Yeah, the one kind of in the corner too, a little bit. So the two corner, kind of like almost the two corners, but yeah, that definitely doesn't look like nothing was connected to that one. Wonder what pad that is. Yeah, usually working on the PlayStation 4s. Yeah, what do you do on those a lot? Mainly the HDMI ports? Actually, I got a PlayStation 3 that I gotta do. It's a backwards compatible one. Gotta do a reball on that one. So you can just see that it wasn't connected. I got like one little nick at the top there, but it doesn't look like, it just looks like the aluminum or the shininess. The top, I don't know if that's going to be an issue. I get that under a microscope. Nothing really big. I'm still going to roll with it, use it. I got other ones, but so let's add some flux to this. Yeah, I do MacBook repair. Actually, I got a MacBook I got to do. It's kind of, I think it's like 2011 or something. Need something with the hard drive not communicating. It's obviously the hard drive data cable, which I'm going to either replace, or best bet is on those, because if you replace it with a new one, down the road the cable's just going to go bad again too, just because of how it's bent. The best way to do is on the data lines, repairing them. I actually run jumper wires from the data lines to the hard drive, and believe it or not, you put a 7500 RPM hard drive in there and the data transfer is like pretty fast. Boots like an SSD almost. Pretty cool. But yeah, I do work on MacBooks. Yeah, I use Paul Daniel software. Who doesn't? He's awesome at coding and making that software. I can't wait till he comes out with this board view, or for the iPhones, board flex view, whatever, iPhone stuff. It'd be neat to see. I imagine he could just keep like adding stuff to the iPhone stuff, just like he's doing with the MacBook stuff. But we need to get our hands on the board view, the files. Not just the schematics, the board views. Alright, so those pads took solder right away. They're the ones that had no solder on them. I think I gotta dry out some paste. Other stuff's probably too old. Got a couple balls over here that are kind of dull. Ooh, that's hot. It's crazy how the heat travels through these chips. Oh no, if I don't get no audio, the audio chip was damaged. I don't know, that's just a little bit of nick, but they are. If you nick it too much, they won't work. Things are delicate. And I got a little nick in there is just because of not being steady enough, which just happens sometimes. Cool, it's not a customer's phone, but just have to replace the audio chip if you accidentally nick it, which happens. Paul Daniels software free? No. He doesn't charge that much for it, but he puts a lot of work into it, and you know, people should pay for it. Amount of hours and times and days he puts into that software, and it makes it so convenient for people, so it's worth purchasing if you haven't bought it. You can get a year of updates for free once you purchase it, which is nice. Yeah, he does deserve the money. But I think in some of my MacBook repairs and stuff like that, and some of my YouTube videos you can check out, I got his link in there. Alright, so we're using the CPU stencil for the 6. I've just always used it, it works good. You'll get paste around the corners or whatever, you'll have to just, you know, either wick it up with your solder iron on the sides. I'm gonna grab some paste here. This stuff stinks. Gotta mix it around. Let's see. Okay. Alright, see, I got some here. This stuff's a little way too dried up, so that's a lot. That'll work. So always when you're like, you're to this point doing about to do the reball, it's like, oh, you're almost there, you're almost done. It's always fun. Alright. Now I gotta clean this edges around here. Oh, my hands are all sticky now. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry out the paste. I'm going to turn my heat all the way down on my hot air station. And I'm going to turn the airflow up around 70. What I'm going to do is just go around this a little bit. Work this flux out of here. So we have some nice dry paste. Other stuff's a little too dry over there, as you can see. And the paper just absorbs the liquid flux. Oh, this stuff stinks. Alright, that's good. Cool it down. Alright, and that's some pretty kind of almost dry paste. Get that liquid flux out of there. Get my airflow back down. Let's see. I'm gonna go. Alright, now I'm gonna grab some of this paste here. So you can see the oil was absorbed, the flux. Paper, we're gonna get the stencil just right. Alright, that's good. Hold that in place. We're going to preheat the hot air station for a while. Alright, not consuming no more power there. Damn, I just seen a mosquito fly. What the hell? Mosquitoes are out now with all that rain. Alright, so I'm going to preheat this. This is going to want a bolt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back one more time over it just to give it enough like height with the balls. It's a good idea, especially because I'm using like the CPU stencil. But you can see how the paste didn't want to fly around or bubble up or anything like that just by drying that out on some paper with some very low heat, not melting it. So what I'm going to do is come in here, some more paste. Alright, we're going to come back and heat it up one more time. So, hey, how's the audio and the video quality? If you guys can let me know. The laggy or anything? Usually I could lift this up. There we go. We lifted it up. Yeah, because usually if you're coming over it the second time, you can see we have a ton of solder on the sides and stuff. And we got some balls we got to get out of the way there. What I like about it is, you know, just like lifting a stencil up just like that. It's because it's already stuck to the mat. Which if you come too much heat, then the mat pushes up on it. So we're gonna get all these balls out of here. It ain't supposed to be here because we're using the CPU stencil. Alright, we can move this out of its way and clean up all this excess solder left over. Nice scrapper that I got. What does that mean? Everything looks good on your end? Sound? Alright, thank you. Oh, nice piece of scrap, you mean the extra solder? Now usually when I'm touching these audio ICs, I usually use a plastic sponger tool. Alright. So what we need to do is we need to add some flux to this and some heat. Oh, the dental picks? Yeah, those are nice. I got them from Harbor Freight. They're awesome. All the different sizes. I mean, look how fine that tip is. Here's a straight pointer one. Here's another one. There's a couple other ones. It's like a five-piece set or something. It's better than these big ones, the old Harbor Freight ones that I had to file down, but kind of like the older ones. They got a lot of reach. But I like these little ones because they're so small and you don't have to do nothing by filing them down. $3, you can't beat it. Alright, so we got all those balls melted. Yeah, just pick them up. They even, I think Harbor Freight sells them online for $3. Walmart sells the same pack for $11. Other places sell it for $15 a pack. So, you know, $3 for a pack of those. I'm actually gonna pick me up probably about like 5 of them just to have, because they're really nice. They're so fine tip. We gotta have a sponsored Coca-Cola. No, yeah, right. Need a Coca-Cola. Hey, Retrofix, what was up that last video I seen that you posted? It was about, I don't know, it was just weird. It was pretty cool. It was like different commercials or something, some older stuff. Jack and Coca-Cola. Yeah, I kind of wish I had some Jack, but that thing's nice and cold. Got some condensation on it. It's pretty hot here today, in the 70s. Right after it just got done raining, so the humidity level is just crazy. It's a commercial for the game store, for your store itself, advertising. Would be kind of fun watching them. Where are they repairing anything? All right, we're gonna clean this. on Lewis's stream. You're the guy that's fixing things over there for the store that you work for or something? Or your store? Alright, that looks good. You can take a look at it. There goes our reball. Got some nice depth to the balls. They're all even. So we can set that to the side, bring our board back over here. Heat this thing into place. We got our jumper wires. I mean, look at the buildup that this stuff is leaving, this flux. It's just horrible. You could see that. Let me go in here with the pick. I mean, look at this crud that it's leaving. This is just the flux. We got those two bridged over here. We're gonna have to unbridge that before we put the I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, let's see. You know, if I change my tip, I'll just be able to go in there with, where's the other small tip? There it is. We're gonna go in there with this tip right here. I can just go on the side of it and tap it, get that bridge free. There we go. We release the bridge. Yeah, because I don't have ZXW pulled up or anything, so I can't really tell what's what. I'm gonna clean this one last time. I just got that flux on there. But yeah, that flux buildup, it's nasty. So I'll definitely have to go in the cleaner afterwards. So I got the bottom heater, just turning that on. Put our shields into place. Lay some flux down. Still not hot enough. Let's see. Get my hot air up. Alright, that's enough. Let this cool down for a second before I place the chip on there, because I have the lead free on there, and some of the balls can be melted in a liquefied state before placing the chip down. So what I'm going to do is just let it cool down for a second before placing it down. It's cooling. I'm going to clean my tweezers. Grab the audio IC, clean the back side of it so I can see the mark. And wants to just keep coming off. Alright, so we need the other way. You failed you said you failed your first PlayStation 4 HDMI? What'd you use to remove it? I like just putting them on a big BGA station just for taking out the ports. Makes it a lot easier. Because you really need a lot of heat to get those HDMI ports off, because those boards take a lot of heat, they absorb a lot of heat, so it's just easier for me sometimes just to use the BGA station. And there's a couple different HDMI ports that you get that they sell that are crappy to use. Let's see, we gotta get this over here. Try to get this into place just as much as I can. Alright, that's good. I'm going to roll with it. Hot air and a soldering iron you use. Port. Yeah, with the HDMI ports, like, it's best probably to go over the stuff with a leaded solder and then go from the bottom of the board and heat the bottom of the board at a high temperature and then go from the top, or you can usually just get it from the bottom. I've used a hot air station to do it, but it just takes a lot of heat. What was the problem that you had that you messed up? Alright, I'm gonna turn on the bottom heater. Usually you could just see this thing float right into place with just the bottom heater. But we're gonna use some top heat. Yeah, really I haven't seen that much HDMI PlayStation 4 replacement ports lately, but was doing them crazy style. And it's common on the Pros too now. Mainly it's the Xbox One S's. It's like took their place in broken HDMI ports. Alright, so put my airflow up. I'm going to turn that up. I'm not going to add any more flux right now. I'm going to try to float this into place. Just float it into place. Give it a little tap. Should be good. Should have put some UV curing on my little wire there. It could have popped out of place, but lucky it didn't. Alright, we're gonna let this cool down. Then I'm gonna come over with the meter. Make sure we don't have no grounding out on that power line. That's ground, and no, it's not grounding out. Alright, so we're good. Yeah, I like this meter. This meter I've used for, this is my automotive meter. I kind of like it. It's very fast response time for reading. I actually put a little LED light in there. So if I have it on, I mean, it's so responsive. So I kind of like it too. It kind of beeps just like the Fluke would when you kind of hit just the other side of the capacitor, but I mean, just barely, real fast. And I silence the beep because I always silence the beep on all my meters, or even my JC Pro. I had to silence that thing. That thing was loud as hell. Alright, so we clean this up. Alright, I'm not going to go crazy on it because I'm going to throw it in the cleaner. But yeah, that flux gets everywhere now. I don't understand it. Used to kind of like somewhat evaporate, but now it's just like it's just pasting up. He touched up the pins with the fat weld tip. Bad connections. Yeah, could be the bad connections. Better to blame something else. I was just messing with you, but it could be too. A lot of problems with the PlayStation with a lot more heat to take off the stuff, and sometimes it takes less heat. Is the humidity levels of depending on where you're at. The humidity levels have a lot to do with it, so. Especially for reballing. You'll notice it too, just on little devices too, like even phones. Alright, so that's good. What I'm gonna do is take this off, and then I'm gonna put a piece of tape on the back side of it to test it. I'm gonna remove this connector here. Not the connector, but the little sealant stuff here. Alright, we're going to be ready to test this thing now. I'm just getting these stickers off. Sometimes they're easy to get off, sometimes they're a pain in the butt. Bad connector is definitely your fault. How many have you replaced? It takes some practice on them. The main thing too is you don't want to make sure you don't knock the little components or blow them off. They always decide to come up missing. Oh, look at what I got the Q-tip on there. I got all sticky stuff on there now. Brutal. All fibers. Alright. Piece of tape here. Alright, we're gonna put it back in the original. Yeah, I just seen that mosquito fly around. Thing better not tag me. Don't want to get bit by a mosquito. Alright, so we got the cameras in there. Got that in there. We can put the original screen on. I'm wondering if the cameras are going to work. If not, there's probably going to be another issue with this, which I'm not going to get into it. Alright, we got that. What's strange about it too, when it had no audio, the thing booted fast. You know, usually it's a slow boot. So we got the Apple symbol there. We'll let that boot. Alright, so we got it booted up. Press the home button. See if the cameras work. What do you know? The camera works. Holy cow. Let me switch camera views here. And I can show you my messy table. What is that? No, we don't want that. We want that off. We want that off. Microscope out of the way. There we go. So we got camera now. What do you know? Audio IC. And I think it had to do with the power line, to tell you the truth. And why I say that is because let's see the front facing camera work. Front facing camera works. So what I think was the power, because I've been seeing the power rail being missing sometimes, and how I kind of knew it was the power rail is when you go into voice memos here, go to record. Let's see if we can get some sound. Test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. iPhone 7 Plus fixed, that had no cameras front or back and no audio. Test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. iPhone 7 Plus fixed, that had no cameras front or back and no audio. So I've never seen it where it doesn't have the cameras. That's pretty strange. Now we got camera, we got audio, and we got front facing. So all it had to do is with the actual audio IC. I think it had the power where maybe it wasn't sending power the audio to, like, the camera's not picking up the signal, therefore it wouldn't turn the cameras on. I really don't know. That's something I'd like to investigate. That's pretty strange. Never came across it where the cameras don't work. Maybe other people have. I don't know. If you have, leave it in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, another iPhone 7 Plus fixed again because of audio defects. And we got audio. So hope you guys liked the stream. If you guys get a chance, give this a thumbs up. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, one less parts board, yep. That's true. I was just going to part the phone out, but I was like, I kind of want to see if the audio IC had caused that problem with the no camera. And obviously that was the problem, which is the audio IC. That's pretty strange that the cameras wouldn't work. Just maybe because it wasn't detecting the audio. Just never came across that. Well, thanks for stopping in and watching the stream. And as always, thanks for watching.